Okay, there we go, guys. Looking pretty good. Got Susie Q to be the line master here. Yeah, look at those fries. You got the Polish there.
Yeah, Polish and it's all
I've never
decked
seen
out.
fries like that. It must be some special
They call them sidewinder fries.
sidewind. Good evening, guys. DJ Wonder Chrissy back at it again. Got a good show for you this evening. Talked about the Cubs today and how it was expensive to go to a Cubs game. Well, I'm here to tell you everything is getting more expensive in Chicago, right? You hear the media, the mainstream media, the urinalism, as I like to call it. We need to flush the urinals. We need to do it from the mainstream media. But anyway, everything's costing more in Chicago. Insurance, car insurance has gone through the roof. And you know why? Carjackings, car thefts, all that good stuff is starting to add up. It's impacting companies. Cost of doing business, so they're raising their prices. So yeah, I saw like a 47% increase in insurance within the city limits of Chicago. Not good, not good. Things are just getting expensive, and there's no shortage of things getting expensive. I'm here to tell you too, when they tell you that inflation is slowing, that may be good. It may be slowing down because it was like 9% not too long ago. It may be down to like 3 or 6%. But the other part people don't realize is prices of stuff aren't coming down. Inflation may be slowing. Okay, I'll give you that. But the price of groceries, things you buy for normal daily life, just are high, and they're not coming back to a normal level. I'm here to tell you that. The other thing you want to think about is big screen TVs and electronics and stuff like that right now are pretty cheap. But being an election year, right, there's a little country called China that may be looking to take over some other little island called Taiwan. And for you folks that don't know, 80% of all semiconductors that we use in all of the electronics and pretty much everything's got chips on it, right? Even this thing here, this is my little sound maker here. This has got like computer chips in it. Right there. Couldn't be made without Taiwan, folks. Well, anyway, that country, China, may just want to take over that little island that makes all of our semiconductor chips. And what do you think's going to happen to the price of big screen TVs, computers, cars, everything? It's going to go up, folks. I'm here to tell you it's going to go up. So if you have any strategic purchases that you need to make this year, and you got the spare cash that you can do it without going into debt, you may want to consider looking into that and saving yourself some money, because I got a feeling as we move through this year, there's a lot of geopolitical stuff that happened, right? Like on October 7th or 17th, things like that are going to be happening around the world, and it's going to impact us. Okay? Like we had an issue down here in the south end of Lake Michigan, Whiting, Indiana. We had an oil refinery that produces 400,000 gallons of gas on a weekly basis. It had to go offline because they lost the grid down there for some reason. Still haven't heard what the result of them losing the grid was or what caused it, but the fact is, from Sunday to Tuesday, the price of gas jumped from $3.04 to $3.39 around here. That's like 35 cents, right? Almost a 10% jump overnight. So we're paying more for gas now too. And as we head towards the summer's high demand, it's going to be going up there too. So everything is going to cost more, folks. I'm just telling you, you got to be smart about it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about today, to get off my horse on that, I can talk all day about things costing more in this world. I wanted to talk to you about the unraveling of Chicago. I guess this might have happened like a week ago now. There's been a lot of things happening in Chicago, and it's not all directly tied to migrants. It's just Chicago in general has turned into a lawless town. And this incident took place, as you'll see, on a very busy street. It happened at like 4:30 in the morning, and I got to give kudos to my late mother-in-law, who always told us nothing good happens after midnight. And her urging was to stay off the streets at midnight. Don't be driving. Don't be out and about after midnight, because nothing good will happen. Well, here's a case where this lady, I don't know if she was going to work, coming home from work, 4:30 in the morning, she gets robbed by a carload of robbers, I guess is what you call them, criminals. And this type of stuff is happening more and more in the city of Chicago. They get like 4 guys in a car, and they all got their pew-pews, and they're looking for somebody that's walking on the street by themselves or in a weak situation, and they take advantage of it. So let's watch this video. And this is shocking, guys. This is truly shocking, and it's happening all the time in Chicago. And there was some pew-pew incidents last week too in Chicago, revolving around high schools in the city of Chicago, which is another alarming incidents in the city of Chicago. But we won't talk about those today. We're going to talk about this one. So I'll play this from Channel 7, and you can get updated on what happened and how alarming this is.
Avenue, where that young mother was attacked 2 separate times on her way to work.
And Lawrence Avenue, that is where all the Indian and Pan-Asian people have, it used to be a big Jewish area. There's still some Jewish people there, but it's a very safe Indian culture there, and that's where a lot of people come from all over the Midwest to buy Indian cultural dresses and you name it. Restaurants. It's a huge Indian Pan-Asian enclave in the north side of Chicago. Pretty safe.
Just a little more than a week ago. Now, after speaking with them this afternoon and seeing the video, her family realizes how close she came to perhaps dying in that attack. Adriana points to the spots where she says 3 men held handguns against her, screaming at her to hand over anything she had. Speaking to us late this afternoon, the family asked us to conceal their faces for their own safety.
The 3 of them had the gun, and they pointed at her head, her neck.
This is Adriana walking west on Lawrence Avenue, headed to work last Monday morning in the middle of the night. A few strides in, a dark sedan screeches along the sidewalk, and 4 people bail out, surround her, shove, manhandle, and strip the 35-year-old woman of her cell phone, her wallet, and a few other things. The 4-on-1 attack plays out for 2 solid minutes.
2 minutes from hell, folks. And it doesn't get any better. When these guys leave and she tries to flag down some help, no one stops for her. She's on her own, literally on her own. I don't know if this video shows it, but there was a bus and 2 cars that she tried to flag down, and no one would stop for her.
Until today, Adriana, her husband, and 12-year-old daughter had no idea this video of the entire attack existed. They watched it with tears streaming down their faces.
She's really brave, that's for sure. She says she feels brave because of us, me and my daughter. Otherwise, she would have made it.
After the attackers speed off, Adriana ran into the street waving and screaming desperately. A city
There goes the boss. He's not stopping.
Two passing cars never so much as pause. That's when the four attackers return
So then they come back. I mean, she just had a nightmare experience, and she's going to relive it now.
for a replay.
They told her that that they were gonna shoot her if she didn't give her the credit card pin. The next time they came, she thought that they were gonna kill her for the same reason.
Adriana says she survived with the strength of her singular focus, her family. Adriana says after the attackers finally took off, after this second time, she sprinted home and woke both her husband and daughter up to tell them what happened. Her cell phone had been stolen. Now she says she believes she could recognize those four young men if police were to perhaps identify them. Watch
So there you go, folks. There is an example of Chicago unraveling quickly. I'm sure that lady's going to have some PTSD for her years to come. I feel for her. At least she made it out alive. But this is just one example of what's happening in the city of Chicago. And if you peruse the news, 10 o'clock news on any of the channels, you're going to see a plethora of this type of stuff. And, I know some people that live in the nice areas of Chicago, but I fear for them because some of these people, they take public transportation to work in the morning. Granted, they work normal hours during the day. One of them even already, the bus she was driving in the middle of the day caught a projectile, called a lead projectile in the window. Things are not safe in the city of Chicago, even during sunlight hours. If you're on public transportation or buses, you got to watch your back. You really do. And I've got many stories of people that needed to do that. So be careful if you're a tourist and you're coming to Chicago. The city is lawless. Let's just say that. It is a lawless society. And anything can happen at any time, anywhere. It's not. It used to be on the south and west sides. People tell you stay out of there. Now when it gets dark and at night, it's moving into the nicer areas, the north, the northwest, the Michigan Avenue. There is no place for the good people of Chicago to hide anymore, I guess is what I'm telling you folks. So be careful, and I'm sure this is happening in other cities. It's probably happening in LA. I know it's happening in New York City. Lot of stuff that in the news there about the cops getting beat up, and they're gonna bring those guys back to New York City, and who's paying for that? The problem is, folks, we have a lot of these blue cities have district attorneys that were installed by a certain individual who has a lot of money and wanted communism and Marxism brought into society, and he funded their political campaigns, got them into office, and they worked really, really hard with all the other progressives in those liberal areas and got what they wanted. Criminals to be victims, folks. That's what it's come down to. In the blue cities, we treat criminals as if they're victims, and the victims are the oppressors. So that is what the problem is. And maybe we'll talk some more about that in the near future. But I just wanted to share this scary video with you. And I hope if you're any one of those people out there who's got your head in the sand and is going through denial that this type of stuff isn't happening, and it's possible that it could happen in your town, and it probably will. I hope this wakes you up, because you need to be awakened, and that's the purpose of this channel, is to awaken folks to what's going on in various places in our nation. And you need to vote. You need to vote. You need to voice your concerns. You need to get your politicians to do the right thing and get our nation back on track. I guess that's the message that I'm trying to deliver tonight. So like, share, and subscribe. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Migrant Mayhem. This is Land Cruiser Midwest. And subscribe if you would. Share it with your friends. We could always use a few more viewers. Lots of good content out there. We do a little bit of everything. We're just not about migrants. We got some other content out there you might be interested in, so check it out. So I'm going to end early. Over and out. DJ Wonder Chrissy. God bless.